First Amendment of the Constitution allows anyone to freely express their religious beliefs. The Founding Fathers one religion government, so making this the First Amendment was a very historic event that could lead to many benefits in a country, or so they hoped. Nowadays, there's so much discrimination and there's been so many protests with people of color, people of religious groups, to find just basic human rights. And that's not how our country should be. It prompts the question, is America truly free?
Around the world, but especially here in the United States, ignorance is a tremendous part of religious discrimination.
Many hate groups create false and harmful stereotypes, only furthering harmful misconceptions already in place.
Absolutely. I think before there was a lot of speculation. People were, a little bit suspicious of the American Muslim community. They were suspicious of Muslims overall, but there was still kind of waiting for confirmation. What happened with these two attacks is people...
In a survey done by the PEW Research Center, they asked a sample of American adults about how much discrimination they feel they have seen towards people of religious groups. The survey said that 82% of adults reported seeing discrimination towards Muslim, and 64% reported seeing discrimination towards the Jewish people. Over half of the people who were surveyed agreed to discrimination being seen around them.
What if classes about origins or beliefs of worldwide religions were taught in school? What if children could grow up knowing exactly what Ramadan or Hanukkah are?
I think had there been more education through that time, it would have better prepared people to be able to learn about these terrible atrocities with a little bit more empathy and compassion.
I think that if we really focused, on implementing this in schools, I think the world would be a better place. It's not.
If you don't want to learn about anyone's religion, you can respectfully and peacefully ask not to.
Discrimination still goes on in today's world. Even with all the laws and regulations against it, it manages to work its way around to show itself.
Look at the way things are going right now and what's in Israel and in Gaza, really created an environment where people were scared of folks who practiced a certain religion.
Our nation has witnessed a dramatic increase in anti-Semitic threats and incidents targeting Jewish Americans, including Jewish students being threatened and harassed on college campuses.
Even with all the laws and regulations against it, it manages to work its way around to show itself. Most discrimination and similar crimes are born from a place of ignorance. People who are less educated in others' religious beliefs can be led to false accusations because they haven't been taught any better.
For both Jews and Muslims, folks are scared and there's threats of violence against their communities because I think people may understand us more as political entities when they really should understand us as religions.
What are these stereotypes that are connected with these different religions and the people who identify with them?
Christians, for example, being put into a category and being labeled as bigots or hate-filled people.
Religions that are connected to political states, right?
How many of you have seen swastikas in school? How many of you have been subjected to anti-Semitic language in school?
There are more forms of discrimination than simply hatred. There are many examples of discrimination where scripture is taken out of context and manipulated to misinform the public.
I think of my modern world history class freshman year, learning about the Holocaust was a really miserable experience. It became the butt of jokes. Now,
if that owner were Muslim and brought forward to the U.S. Supreme Court saying it is my religious belief that I should not be required to pay for contraception to an insurance plan that would go to my female employees for contraception, he would have never won.
We want to see the leaders of tomorrow grow up not surrounded by misconceptions, but by the truth. We as humans no longer live in a society where we can simply ignore the fact that others have their own beliefs.
It's not going to happen overnight. We're going to see slow progress.
Mm-hmm.
But I think people will be a lot more open to seeing their neighbor, or rather seeing the religious other as a neighbor, as a potential friend, as just a friend I haven't met yet.
Our goal is to have more acceptance for religious groups. The hate in the world can't be ignored, so we have to do something about it. And when we spread more education to the public, we can make this country a free place for everyone and anyone. We can learn off one another
and together make a better world
for future generations to come.